Think about it. What if the fate of your smartphone and your favorite spicy chicken wings depended on a single, thousands of kilometers long desert path? Welcome to the lab. I'm Professor Zapnik, and today we're hacking history's toughest network, known as the Silk Road. While the name sounds like a soft bedding store, it was actually a gigantic transcontinental logistical nightmare, or perhaps a stroke of genius. You shouldn't imagine a single highway, but a vast, web-like system of routes, connecting the Far East, China, with the West, Rome and Europe, crossing through today's India, Iran, Turkey, and Central Asia. It was named much later by a German geographer, Ferdinand von Richthofen, because Chinese silk was the ultimate luxury item for which Romans were willing to pay a fortune in gold. They simply loved that it didn't itch like wool, and they didn't sweat through their togas. This network started buzzing seriously around the 2nd century before Common Era during the Han Dynasty and dominated world trade, until the mid-1400s, the Age of Discovery. But don't think it was just merchants wearing out their sandals. Armies of envoys, monks, adventurers, and scholars marched with the caravans. The journey was hardly a wellness weekend. Travelers had to battle the scorching heat of the Gobi Desert, the oxygen-depleted peaks of the Pamir Mountains, and, of course, the bandits lurking behind every bush, who didn't ask for an invoice, but for the cargo itself. This is exactly why oases, cities, and caravanserais were vital. They were the gas stations of antiquity, where camels could rest and people could gossip over a full meal. Here, it wasn't just spices, gemstones, porcelain, or tea leaves changing hands, but languages and religions too. Both Buddhism and Islam traveled along these invisible threads. The real wow factor, and here comes the scientific twist, is that the Silk Road was the technological exporter of its Sarah. Without this connection, Europe might have heard about papermaking, the compass, or gunpowder centuries later. This system bears an uncanny resemblance to today's global supply chains. If a war broke out in one empire, prices skyrocketed at the other end of the road. Merchants rarely traveled the entire distance. They acted as intermediaries, buying and selling goods, with everyone adding their own profit, so by the end, silk was more expensive than gold. Of course, this broadband internet had a dark side. The Black Death, or Plague, also traveled to Europe on these camelbacks, completely redrawing history. As maritime shipping became safer and cheaper, the significance of the Silk Road faded, but its legacy is still here, in your pocket and on your plate. If this network hadn't existed, the world today would be a much smaller, duller, and likely technologically more backward place. Its greatest impact wasn't even in economy, but in teaching us that ideas know no borders. Thanks for joining me today in the labyrinth of science and history. Remember, knowledge is the only treasure that bandits can't steal from you, and you don't even have to climb onto a camel's back to get it. Be an explorer in your own daily life. Professor Zapnik is zooming off now to find out if silkworms actually wear pajamas to bed. See you at the next experiment. Bye-bye.